Hello, talking for Josh Anime Curious. My name is RandomSama613 and welcome to another Anime Opinions. This week I was going to do a first impression of 3 different series, but then I watched Mekaku City Actors. So I'm going to give it its own video even though I hadn't planned on it for a variety of reasons I'm going to go into. For those of you who don't know, Mekaku City Actors is the latest work of Shaftayuki Shinbo, also known as the team of animation studio Shaft and director Akiyuki Shinbo. Probably most well known for Bakemonogatari and the Monogatari series, and I think that's where the problems arise with this series. Before I go into those, however, I'll give you the usual first impression stuff. The basic premise of the series is that the main character is a hikikomori, is another hiki-neet, that kind of seems to be a theme this season, who hasn't left his house in like 2 years. And his computer, an amount of time before, was infected by an AI program named NA? MA? I don't remember exactly. And she does wacky stuff. And that basically covers it. He ends up having to go outside after 2 years and stuff happens. That's your basic premise. Well, I can't really say much about the series other than it looks like a Shaft production done by Akiyuki Shinbo. It looks good, the animation quality is just fine. The plot seems to be like it'll be interesting. I think the content has a lot of potential. They've already introduced a bunch of different characters that intrigue me. So I'm still going to watch the series. However, this is where I'm going to go into what I'm mostly going to talk about in this video, and that is the fact that it feels exactly like Monogatari without the characters. The pacing is the exact same. The mannerisms they have the characters adopt feel very Monogatari. The way that they deliver their lines with the head tilt is very Monogatari. The animation style itself, the quality, the way they do the set pieces, the backgrounds, the foregrounds, the music almost reminds me of Monogatari. And it just feels like they're setting up Mekaku City Actors to be the next Monogatari for when Monogatari no longer has source material. Because after second season in Hanamonogatari, there's only one more season of Monogatari stuff left. And I have this distinct feeling that they're setting up Mekaku City Actors to be the next Monogatari because it has so much source material. The problem with that is that I'd rather just have more Monogatari for the time being. Because it feels exactly like watching Monogatari. And I feel like Shaft and Akiyuki Shinbo are playing it too safe, and they're giving us more of what we've already had. Which I think is a very bad idea, and I think it's going to cause a lot of problems down the road. Now, I don't have a problem with the style of Akiyuki Shinbo, nor do I have a problem with the style that Shaft tends to go with their animation. I love Monogatari as much as the next person. I really, really enjoy it, and I think it's one of the most groundbreaking anime we've had in years. The problem is that Shaft needs to move on from that, and needs to do something different and new, and not rely on their old staples like they're doing now. Otherwise, while their popularity may maintain, I have a feeling that it's going to decrease over time because we're just getting the same kind of stuff. And I think that anime as a whole really needs to kind of not do the same thing like it's always been doing. And I think that some series have been breaking it up, and that's a good thing. But I think that Shaft itself also needs to kind of move along from the Monogatari style of storytelling, with the really fast dialogue, with the head tilts, with the emphasis on the foregrounds and the backgrounds and not necessarily on the characters while they're talking. With all the things that Shaft does. I think that they need to innovate a little bit more. And I think that this series is playing it too safe, and as a result, I really feel like I've seen the series before. That's really what it comes down to. Is it feels like I've watched Mekaku City Actors before, and it's known as Monogatari. So I'm really hoping that it moves on from that. I'm really hoping that it differentiates itself somehow, because right now it just feels like watching more Monogatari, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'd rather it be with the Monogatari characters in the Monogatari universe. But what did you guys think of Mekaku City Actors? Go ahead and leave your comments down below. I don't think I'm the only person who's had this issue, but I may just be overly sensitive to it because I've been watching Monogatari's second season recently, and that really has been bringing it to my forethought. If you like the video, go ahead and throw me a like. It really does help out a lot. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and dislike it. I don't have a problem with that, but please leave me a comment on what you didn't like about the video. If it's just my opinion, that's fine. You're entitled to yours. I'm entitled to mine. If it's something production-wise, please let me know what it is. I can try and fix it. But until next time, I've been RandomSama613. This has been Anime Opinions, and until then, watch more anime.